Hello, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. If you can hear my voice, please type in yes into the question box in chat, Kathy. Let me just take a look. Wait, looks like we're online. Just give me a second just to get something in order. Okay, I don't know why it says my audio is degraded. If it breaks down at any point, let me know. And if you can't hear me clearly, let me know in the chat, Kathy, because I have that up on a separate screen. I am using a different computer today because I didn't, I'm having issues with my other computer. But anyway, it's been another great morning for trading. Seems like Mondays and Tuesdays work really well for us. We have some great trades in the Asia session, some really great trades in the New York session. Held on to Aussie Kiwi, which really should have. I really liked the 70 pips that we banked. That worked out really well. Your CAD still in profits. CAD Swiss worked out well. The most important thing is that we have good ideas all around. And Zip did not fail us today. It worked beautifully. And last night, this morning, and that's why we keep doing it. That's why that's why not only do I call the trades out for you, but I give you the indicators so that if there happen to be some European session trades, didn't really happen overnight, but can happen quite often, you would have been able to catch them. So anyway, there's been quite a few changes to the heat map, and most of these changes may be short-lived. We'll see. We'll see how they go. Definitely, and they're not going to change this week, but we'll talk through them, and I'll explain why they may not be durable. So first off, I'm bearish dollars. I'm bearish dollars for a few reasons. The fundamental reason is that the U.S. economy should feel the pain of the surge in virus cases, lockdowns, more restrictions as we head into the holidays. I'm bearish dollar yen. I'm also bearish dollars because some of the other countries and currencies are doing better, particularly like New Zealand dollar, Aussie dollar, and so the US dollar should underperform as a result. I'm also bearish dollars because we're seeing a bit of equity market rally, so that should lift some of the high beta currencies. So kind of different reasons for the general outlook. Do I think risk aversion could return? Maybe, quite possibly, because I still don't necessarily think that these lofty valuations are deserving. But right now, we're bearish dollars. I'm neutral euros. You all know how bearish euros I am. I think that the ECB is easing. I think they're headed into recession. I think that data is going to worsen, but it has not fallen. And that's why it's so important to respect price action. And today we made a lot of pips going long euro or derivation of that, meaning that Swiss franc is correlated with euro, so being long Swiss yen is the same as being long euro yen in some ways, and even CAD Swiss is correlated to the long euro trade. So we were not hesitant to take it because while I may have a very firm view, so when I'm wrong or when the market doesn't agree with me, I'm not so stubborn that I ignore the opportunities. There are legitimate reasons for why the euro is rising. I mean, first and foremost, stocks are recovering, and that's euro's a high beta currency. Also, the most important of which is that the lockdowns in Europe are bringing down or slowing the spread of the second wave in the region, and cases are no longer hitting record highs on a near daily basis. They've come down quite a bit in some countries. So investors are looking forward to the future. They're looking forward to the fact that the U.S. seems to be a few weeks behind the Eurozone and is probably not in as good of a position because the Eurozone countries took more aggressive, widespread, nationwide measures to slow the virus spread. So they think that on a relative basis, Europe, because they're a few weeks ahead of the US, should do better. I beg to differ because I think that the market hasn't fully discounted the deterioration of data, but that's what they think. That's what's driving the euro higher, and we have to respect that, which is why I am neutral euros. I'm also neutral sterling. Sterling's got a lot of good things going for it today, which is why it's up. There is some hope that the Brexit talks will yield something this week. There's also better than expected PMI numbers that lifted sterling, and the government's coming strong with fiscal stimulus. So that's driving sterling higher, and I think that turns the outlook neutral, maybe a tinge of bit bullishness too, but obviously it's all about Brexit. Australian dollar data has been very good. PMIs were very good, just kind of a testament to the positive benefits of reopening. And we've seen that. We should continue to see that. I'm bullish Aussies. I think that relative performance-wise, that should continue to lift the currency. I'm bearish Canadian dollars, on the other hand, which is a bit of a tougher call because data from Canada hasn't been bad. I mean, it's actually been pretty decent. But they're dealing with a second wave as well. Many of our members here are from Canada and they're telling us all about the fresh lockdown measures in Canada. And so I think it's going to come back to haunt the currency and the economy. And I think that it's going to underperform a lot of the other currencies, which is why we went long EuroCAD and I thought about shorting CAD Swiss. I think it's still a relatively solid trade. Kiwi, bullish. I've been bullish Kiwis all along, and the retail sales numbers we had last night were fantastic, and I think that that's going to continue to lift the currency. I mean, it is very overbought, so you have to be careful, which is why we didn't really go along Kiwi today, even though I kind of was tempted to. I stayed out of it just because it's moved so much, but for the most part, yeah, it's definitely a bit of an issue. Swiss franc, yen, the positive vaccine news is definitely helping the currency. And I think that, for now, we still remain, it's helping the stock market. We still remain bearish Swiss francs and yen, but if the market turns, we won't hesitate to shift our views. So now let's look at the eco calendar. I'm going to bring in my other screen if I can drag it onto this. Okay, let me just make sure you're seeing what I want you to see. Perfect. So we had a few pieces of data released overnight, and we already talked about them. Really great retail sales figures from New Zealand. Also a testament to how much of a snapback countries can have when they kind of crush COVID and have this kind of second revival. Australian PMIs, manufacturing data very good, service sector very good, composite numbers very good, justifying the Aussie rally. And then from Germany, we have stronger flash PMIs, manufacturing PMIs, service sector not stronger but better than expected. Flash PMIs, manufacturing PMIs, which is also one of the justifications I had for going long EuroCAD this morning. Euro PMIs weren't as good because they were dragged down by the services sector, but at least it's not overwhelmingly terrible, and I think the market was happy to see that. UK data, on the other hand, was much better than expected. Manufacturing still, kind of leading the recovery, but beats all around. The U.S. later today, we have market PMIs. These will be interesting to see, how things affected the U.S. So we'll be watching those carefully, and then nothing else. And then tomorrow, let me just let the calendar load. We have revisions to German GDP. Revisions are tough to call, but for the most part, I think that the IFO would be much more important. So with the IFO, we had the PMI is kind of mixed. I still think the IFO is going to be weaker because I think German businesses are going to be more pessimistic. And I think, that could take a bit more of a dive than the economic activity index because it's a sentiment index. And then later on in the day, we have house prices from the US, which is really not that market moving. Consumer confidence we're much more interested in. I think this one could take quite a bit of nosedive as due to the uncertain election results, as well as the uncertain election results, as well as kind of the mixture that we had in currencies. Or sorry, the mixture that we had in equities, I meant. Wednesday is when we have the data dump, the pre-holiday data dump. We have a lot going on from the US. We have nothing really going on from the rest of the world. But from the US, we've got durable good orders, jobless claims, GDP revisions, the University of Michigan revisions, new home sales, personal income, personal spending. So a lot going on this day. I don't really know how impactful these numbers will be. I don't think that they're exceptionally market moving because revisions, are difficult to handicap and they are hard and they can be market moving, but they're second releases, so I'm not sure how much of an impact they are. I would say that of all these releases, personal income, personal spending numbers are probably the most important, and they're both expected to be a bit softer because retail sales was very weak, so keep an eye out for that. Then with the FOMC minutes, which could be much more interesting, although I don't think the Fed at the time was really motivated to do anything. Kiwi trade data with regards to Kiwi trade data, while we've had very good numbers from the New Zealand economy in general, I would say that with the manufacturing sector, we actually had weaker manufacturing PMIs, and so this could be a little worse. And on Thursday, it's a holiday in the US, so trading will be very quiet. In terms of data, we don't have anything market moving with the ECB minutes, and I think it's going to confirm to us that they're ready to ease. And that's pretty much it. And then lastly, on Friday, we have Chinese industrial profits, nationwide house prices, no US data at all, but we do have Eurozone sentiment numbers, which I think should be negative as well, because once again, sentiment I think will have taken a bigger hit than activity indices. In terms of trading, we're trading today, we're trading tomorrow. We're most likely trading Wednesday, but if we make really good pips and we reach 100, we might just close out the book and just not take the risk of profit taking on Wednesday for no reason other than pre-holiday flows, but we'll see. We're not trading Thursday and I'm not trading Friday. So we will leave it at that. Friday's my birthday. I'm turning 40, so I'll be taking the day off to spend time with my family.
Oh my
With
God.
that,
You just made me feel ancient. You just made me feel ancient. Holy cow.
Pulling up Euro
I will
first.
always think of you as like
As I
22.
said, you all know that I've been all over short Euros, but it's obviously not doing that. We're gonna have to turn to the weekly charts for guidance. I still think, this is obviously not happening right now. I still think it should be trading lower, not higher, but we got to respect price action. And so I'm still bearish, but we should not sell until we get a reason to sell, until we get a sell signal. So with our zip, no way near sell signals. So we're just gonna have to wait. I mean, if it goes below 70, we'll probably get a sell signal, but and that's not really that much of a move from here. So we'll see. Dollar yen, still bearish, but there was 4 days that we've been touching 103.70. So I think it's going to break it. There is near-term support there, but I do think it's going to break it, and I think it's just an eventuality that it happens. Pound dollar shot higher today. We talked about all the reasons why pound dollar rally was justified today. 134.82, this August high, is resistance. You could test it. No reason to be selling sterlings right now. Dollar Swiss, I'm super bearish. Below all of the key moving averages, plenty of room to fall. I think that selling dollar Swiss seems like a sounder trade than some of the other setups. Kiwi just marching higher, very overbought. Weekly charts, no resistance. Daily charts, no resistance. 70 cents is the next level to watch in Kiwi dollar, and it could get there. Aussie consolidation here. I'm still bullish Aussies, although it definitely seems like it's underperforming a bit, which is why Aussie Kiwi short zip worked. We took peanuts off of that because I just wanted to bank pips, but fundamentally, technically, this trade looked very, very good. Dollar CAD, I'm bullish dollar CAD's consolidation. I liked buying dollar CAD because I like the way it looked on the hourly chart. Higher highs, higher lows, very nice setup here. And it seems like, a lot of the moves were made in Europe and that we were getting a bit of a fade here in US. And so being short CAD, I felt like was one of the nicer trades. Although, zip-wise, it doesn't really give us this long setup until 70, 130.70. Just taking a look at some of the setups we had earlier. EuroCAD, very nice buy setup. If you caught the initial zip trade, you would have got much at 5 a.m. You would at 6 a.m. close, you would have got much better fill than I did. CAD Swiss, beautiful zip variation where it basically crossed below the indicator line and then the hue in the background turned red one candle afterwards. So very beautiful trade here. We definitely should have stayed short. Swiss yen, also really nice setup, although the fade in the stock market made this much more questionable to stay in than the other setups. But that's basically what we're looking at. We'll continue to look for opportunities tonight, tomorrow, and see where we're at after tomorrow's trade. Any questions or charts that you want to look at? Before I turn it over to Boris, let me see if there's any questions in the question box on go to. Euro dollar cap at 120, Paul. I do not think euro should even be trading at 119. So I most certainly think it should be capping at 120, maybe 119. But we have to wait. We have to wait for our zip signal. We have to respect, and that helps us respect price action. Sometimes you will see I will just sell because of other technical factors or data I think is going to happen, but right now I don't think so. CAD yen. So I was looking at CAD yen this morning. I felt like CAD yen had a nice little zips buy signal, but now we're actually turning lower. And let's cross-reference. We know that we're already bearish CADs, and we're cross-referencing with the daily charts, rejecting those moving averages. I think it looks great. 79.38, I think, is a pretty solid short. So let's do a soft call here. Short CAD yen at 79.38 with the same parameters that we normally have. Because I do think, I'm short. I do think that the rally seems to be fading. Let me just post this chart for you guys to see. 20 pip target, 35 pip stop, I think sounds reasonable. Any other questions as I am saving my chart to post for you guys to see? Once again, beautiful trading day. And we're gonna, hold on to our profits. We definitely would have gotten a lot more because CAD Swiss actually moved in our favor, but we're not gonna complain. Crypto, Boris said I'm gonna start looking at that in the future. Maybe that's him. I did not say that I was going to start looking at that in the future. So maybe it'd be a good time for Boris to chime in on
Can you guys hear me? Hi, can you hear me? Hello?
So if you want to go ahead, Boris.
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? No?
Funny, I
Hello?
cannot hear Boris.
I'm having
But
a
he's
hard time.
obviously
Does
talking.
anybody hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay, hello. Yes, yes, yes. Talk to me. I'm having a hard time this morning with all my audio. For some reason, my computer not connecting to my audio. So, first of all, Kay, I am like, nothing made me feel older than realizing that you're turning 40. Holy cow. Hello?
Yes, yes.
I mean, you
I know
don't
it's
understand. You don't understand. I've known Kathy since she was like 22. She's always going to be 22 to me, and a baby. I just can't believe she's 40 and like an actual adult. It's really.
Oh, I
It's
wish I was 22. I wish. That's like the golden age, right? You're up to 21,
exactly,
you get everything's legal to you.
exactly, exactly.
Yes.
Anyways, well, she's having quite a run this birthday month for her. Unbelievable trading. Let's give her a big clap. Today was just the latest of how well she's really zoned into the market right now. So props to her on that. Let me take the screen, guys. Let me just show you what we've got going. Our markets are unusually, it's the currency markets that are moving and the FX markets are just chopping up and down like crazy. And I'm barely I'll go through with you my own personal overnight action, and it's basically like just mildly positive because I got chopped around in that massive downdraft that we had just a couple of minutes ago. Trump is clearly just wants to wreck the house down, just wants to burn the house down before he leaves. Like they literally need to just escort him out of the White House right now because he's a danger to himself and everybody else. Because the latest news that hit was that he was going to impose some fresh tariffs against China. Right now that took the market literally. Nas went from 54 to 19 or 13 in 1 second. Right. I had a bad long position here. I mean, there was no reason for me to be long just because the market looked like it was getting long. I got stopped out, but then I flipped around, went negative a couple of times. But this is the interesting thing that I kind of wanted to show you. If the market, you get this negative news, right, and the market isn't following through, is not following through, the trade then becomes the upside trade. The trade then becomes the upside trade. And I started looking, like we had about 4 or 5 periods where the market just did not make any fresh lows off this news. And then we had that green candle, which completely engulfed the sell arrow, and actually turned out to be a good long, and I basically recovered my losses and came back up. But it's, regardless, it's still chop city right now. We do have, as I'm talking, pre-market, and I guess we can all, I'm a little bit late on this, so I'm actually very late on this. Let's see if it's worthwhile our time. So 57 close. No, we're 5 points. We're at 5 points out of entry. So we're going to let this trade pass us by. But that is actually a classic entry trade for us. If we came in over here at around 57, we certainly would have already been a little bit in the money and have a chance here, possibly 65 as we go forward. But we're going to let this one pass because the number one rule I've learned is we're not going to chase trades in out of step formation, right? Even if it's a good setup, the risk reward gets completely skewed against us when we put a chase trade for us, because it could just retrace a little bit and stop us out, or just at this point would have to extend much further in order for us to make bank. So regardless, we're just going to stay disciplined on this point. And I've really been trying to stay disciplined most of the night. But, there's been very, very little actual real trades. If we come back here, let me just sort of show you what's been real trades. So this was a real trade that worked, where, you had a buy candle fail. And I was a little bit late on it, but that actually worked to the downside over here. This was a trade that did nothing. And here's a good example. Like, Europe has just been incredibly boring, right? Oh, we're starting to move, right? Are we starting to move? No, not really. Europe session for the last week or so has just been ridiculously boring in terms of trade, and therefore there's been just very few really good opportunities to start with. I did have a couple. Let me see, what's Asia? What did we open up? We open up on Asia. What do we do here? Just trying to scroll back and see all my trades here. Nothing going on here. We have a big spike here in early Europe. Where are my trades? So, okay, let's take a look at this trade. Well, why was I in this trade? Okay, this is a good example why you don't chase, right? So the turn trade, the mean reversion trade, was actually this candle over here, right? This candle at 53. Had I been long here, that would have been a small scalp for me. Would have been okay. I came in a little bit late, a couple of candles late. It stayed out a little bit in the money. Didn't quite take me to profit, and then just long-term stop out. At which point, I then completely reversed myself because the trades did completely reverse themselves back to the upside. So we had this candle over here completely eclipsing this candle, and I got long on that, and it worked out perfectly fine. But it's just really been a lot of counterpunching, just a lot of counterpunching. This trade over here was legitimate. It was a mean reversion trade, right? This green candle covers the red candle, but it's Europe, completely dead. And after 10, 11 periods, just nothing going on. I couldn't get profits. I took myself out. And it was very, very smart of me because taking myself out, I survived the unnecessary stop because we just, the point is if there's no forward progress in 5 or 10 periods, just let it go. This trade is actually, as I said to you, continuing to go up. We just chose not to chase it, but this was the first clean trade. And what's interesting, by the way, is this is a great way of using our setup in combination with news. So we get news, and then the setup is completely opposite the news. In other words, it breaks the highs. It basically, news is bearish, and we have a clean, perfect bullish setup. That's an incredibly strong trade for a scalp to the upside, because the market shrugs off the news, then comes back, goes positive slice, and then the green candle completely engulfs the red candle, putting us into the trade here effectively at 50. And it just crawls up here for a small scalp for us. So uneventful is the best way I would describe it right now. We got about 3-4 minutes to the open. I'm going to trade the open with you guys for the first 15 minutes. If we get nothing of value, I have to leave early because I have a very important meeting in the city I got to get to. But then after that, tomorrow we'll do a full Zoom. It's going to be our only live trade this week because Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm taking off because the markets are going to be closed. It's going to be dead. So we're going to take a little bit of a Thanksgiving break on trading. I'll chime into the room and talk to you guys during those days, but we're not going to do any live trades at that point. So, okay, we're basically looking like, it looks like, what are we trying to do here? The Dow has a negative, it's a really weird formation here where it's a negative candle, but it's beating the highs over here. Do I really want to chase the Dow on the open? I don't love it, but it's not it's not a horrendous setup, but it's the opening price rotation, so I'm not like loving it, but we might take a punt here because we got nothing else of any legitimacy. 23, 24 seconds. If this thing holds at these levels, it's clear that they want to ramp it into the open. I'm always leery of jumping into the first candle in the open, but there might be some continuation here, so we could take a gander on here. So let's see. We'll take this one for a little pop. Let's see if they do any kind of continuity trade over here. The Dow's, I haven't even watched the Dow much this morning, but it's actually been stronger. So let's see if we can just cut ourselves a little bit tighter on this move. We'll see if that works. We got 30 seconds to the open. Are they going to lift the open? Let's see. Let's hope so. No idea. All right. You know what? We'll take the 5. We'll take the 5 pre-open so that we're not in danger of reversal right on the open. So I'll let the rotation happen. We got about 10 seconds before the opening rotation. It probably would have worked for a full 10, but good, yeah, and it did extend, but it's fine. This was, like I said, it wasn't a bad trade. That's why I was willing to take the gamble. And those of you, if anybody do more than 5? Anybody take this trade with me? Karen, Connie, anybody follow me in there? Carol, Joanne. My God, I love the fact that in my room, estrogen beats out testosterone like 4-1. Nobody doing anything? Other than that, yeah. So we extended. I mean, it's obviously working. Nobody. Come on, guys. Nobody followed. That was a classic setup. But it's okay. It's fine. I think Karen followed. Karen loves this trade. Karen loves the opening rotation trade. She's probably banking like 40 right now. She's gonna post to me and tell me she did 40 points on a two exit entry here. Don't disappoint me, Karen. You know what? I just discovered I can put you guys over here. If we do that, oh no. Okay, good for you. Yeah. No, so Carol, I used to always think so, but there are exceptions to the rule. Like I'm noticing, well, the opening rotation trade is basically like 1 or 2 minutes before the market opens. If especially if we get our setup, which is the break of the fail of the sell candle, that's generally a really good short-term setup for the long side. See, we had the fail over here. I got long over here, and it cleanly traded way up there. Now we have the NAS completely reversing back up to the upside again. This is another, as I said to you, good signal that they're reversing the news. So that's very positive. We have to, we don't have a setup right now, but we can watch this for the next couple of minutes. We do have, I'm actually going to see if I can, because if the DAX is going to follow us to the upside, let's see if I can put this over here. That's actually pretty good. We'll see if the DAX wants to follow us to the upside. So the DAX is got a clear 79 for us, 33 seconds on the breakout move. And that's another legitimate trade, for the open. Let's see if the DAX can do anything at this point. 22, 23 seconds. We're definitely extending up. DAX is doing a very, very moderate, muted follow through, but we might be able to get some extension movements here. Dow was the relative bid today. It was the strongest of all the trades. So the opening rotation certainly works for that. That's holding bid so far. I guess put this in the trade. Let's see where we're gonna go. I'm gonna just put 5 on the DAX just because I don't really. It's very, very muted. Let's see if we can get any kind of move on this thing. Not much. I'm looking for a quick extension here. It doesn't look like it's getting enough juice yet. So, all right, we'll have to hang in the trade, see if it holds up for us. NAS looking pretty good. Like we don't have a setup here, but this green candle looks pretty good in the sense that it's trying to engulf the red one if it can hold it. So far, it looks like it's just a typical fake out where we fell for the fake out where the first opening 5 minutes they run it, and now they're going to take profits, and then they're going to have the actual true move, which we'll try to see if we can trade the true move after that. Okay, so the Dow actually does set up a buy fail potential for us. Let's see if we can get there. We'll put that up there. So we'll put the Dow back up into the trade possibility. And now it's really fighting to the upside, looking nice. Let me see what's going on in the futures. Let me see if the futures are giving us anything of interest. No, not really. Not really. This candle is neutral. This candle is kind of a whole bid here. Nobody really seems to like this was the initial spark, and then they kind of just all trying to find some equilibrium. Let's see if this level holds. Looks like they can't hold the. Let's see, the 13. If this turns green, that would be a mildly positive candle for us. Let's see if this holds. Yeah, that would be okay. All right, I'm just punting. Not even a setup. Just punting on the fact that we just got a little bit of boom, and we got a little bit of juice over here. So that worked a little bit to the upside. Mainly, again, I'm just, at this point, there's no setups. I'm just scalping using our strategy, which is, we found we got a good signal that reversed the flows. This is our first buy, strong buy signal, and obviously it expands much more. If any of you traded this, you probably have 6-7 points to the upside on this thing already. So it should be, much better than before. The DAX not doing anything for us. The Dow not doing anything. It's really all Nasdaq right now, just extending big time. Anybody go long Nasdaq? Anybody take that trade? Good for you. Good for you on that. This Dow futures. I don't trade the Dow futures because I just want to focus on Nas. I like to just have one instrument focus when I'm trading futures. But the futures, this is the Dow futures. So here's the Dow futures. They're the same as the Dow. They're basically, just holding bid, but haven't really cleared. We need to clear this high in order for this thing to be a legitimate trigger into the move. It's following. The futures are following the cash. Let's see if this actually how much time we have? 7 periods left. It needs to go through 70 in order for us to trigger us into a trade. So it might actually, let's see if the Dow triggers us into a trade right here. Let's see if it holds. It's got to hold 70 on a closing basis. 4 or 5 minutes. Looks like we might be able to get a Dow trade too. Oh, why didn't it go? Oh, let's go. Oh man, I'm going in there. I think was the volatility too much? Okay, I'm going long just because I'm going to go 7. Let's see if I can get 7 out of this thing. 5, 6, 7. Okay, good. So that worked on the Dow. I think what happened was I had a volatility filter on this thing, and it just cleared, just pushed me through the volatility filter. But at least, we got 7 on the Dow. The DAX is just not working for us, so screw the DAX. I hate the DAX, anyways. The NAS worked for us twice, right? So that was good. And that's it. Let me see if there's anything else going on here. Okay, let me see what else is happening with you guys here. Good job on the NAS. Good job on the NAS, Karen. Anybody else go long NAS or the Dow on that one? Good job on the Dow, Joanne. Good job. Everybody cranking. We do have. I mean, this is actually setting up on the Dow. As I said, I have this hardcore rule now that I'm just refusing to trade anything but NASDAQ for my own account, because I find that if I do one instrument, one setup for myself, I'm very successful. If I deviate my focus, it just takes me off on my own account. But you guys are welcome to, if you have multiple instrument setups. This is certainly right here. If this closes. It's actually closed green over here. So you already had the signal here. This is a secondary signal here that may be possible setting up. So YM for 6, good for you, Jonathan. Yeah. The whole point here, I don't know if you guys saw my column this week, but it was really, I'm just going to finish up with my column idea, is the single most important thing for everybody in this room is not to do what I do, but to do what you do, which is to find your own rhythm, your own strength, your own personality within the setup. Like you need to absorb the fundamentals of the setup, just like dribbling. You need to know how to dribble in basketball, but then how you shoot is very much a personal expression of your own creativity, right? So you have to know your personality. A huge part of trading with me is actually discovering who you are as a trader, right? Like, I am basically a 3-point single entry, single exit, single instrument trader. Anything else outside of that deviation, and I screw it up royally. So we already know my limitations, but the question is, what are yours, and how can you turn them into strengths? If trading multiple instruments is completely comfortable for you, and you can trade 2 exits like Karen does, then absolutely do that. If doing single instrument, do that and don't do anything else. If trading only futures is great, do that. If trading a lot of CFDs is great, do that. The key thing is to stay consistent to the setup within your own personality constraints. So that's my final message for the day before I go to the Canadian consulate to beg for a passport for my daughter. That's it. Anything else, guys? We're gonna maybe what we'll do tomorrow, since I'm only gonna do one single live trading. Maybe we'll do like a 2-hour live. We'll do like a 8 to 10 Zoom. Just go crazy, and then we'll cover everything. Anything else on your mind, we'll just discuss. Okay. So I think that's what we're gonna try and do. Since I'm not gonna do more live trading, we'll just do 2 hours worth of live trading. The YM is actually working, right? So that's good. I don't even know what the DAX is doing. No, the DAX didn't work. The DAX took us out. All right. So screw the DAX. The Dow worked. The NAS worked. Yay America. Forget the Germans. This is called the session trader indicator. They're all to get all the indicators. You can get them in here. Trader tools ? And everything. All the indicators. All the EAs, all the execution stuff is all available, both for MT4 and MT5. Okay, so you just load everything up there, and I'll go over that tomorrow. All right, guys, I gotta run. Not a bad session today. Everybody who traded the Dow and the NASDAQ did well. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for like a full 2-hour session. Okay, everybody have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye bye.